All right, guys, welcome back to Blitz Creek. It's week 8 of high school football. We got a lot going on here today. Nobody's getting their hair cut at this time, but they'll be here soon. We got our little picker running around, so they may make a surprise appearance. We don't know, but we'll see. The title is slowly creeping down. If you're watching or listening, you don't get that enjoyment of seeing it just slowly slide, but we'll get there.
Slowly but surely slide into place.
So we appreciate you guys coming back and listening to me and Josh, whether we get it right or not.
Which tends to be this year not getting it right. I mean, sometimes we pick winners, but scores, yeah.
That's just for your enjoyment.
Exactly. There's a reason why they don't pick points and scores on game day.
Because they wouldn't make it.
No.
Also, we appreciate you going to YouTube, liking, subscribing, and leaving us a comment. I seen you, Manny. You left a comment, and I appreciate that.
I'll work on the mustache. I'll bring it back.
And also to our faithful listeners on Spotify and Apple, we really appreciate you there as well. We'd like to thank our sponsors. As always, Apple Bagworks. Again, I say it every time. Go check out his prints. He's got his wristlets for the ladies. New fall print coming out. So husbands, do your job. Go get one. For the men at Bohemian Gray, he's got some wallets up there. You can go check them out. And he also has handbags. So there you go. Also, to Andrew Scruggs, attorney at law out of Bluefield. If you need somebody to represent you in court, go check him out. And if you want to hear a funny plug for an attorney, check out the Bulldog Radio on Thursday night and listen to the attorney's plug there. You'll love it. I'm not going to ruin it, but you got to go check it out. And also to our loyal barber, our best sponsor we got. Again, our barber's better than you. And if you're listening and not watching, you don't get it, but we're pointing to his title here.
We're getting the old Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Put the belt on.
The Old Town Barbershop. We appreciate him for letting us come here and ruin his customers' days as they have to listen to us and they're afraid to talk to him while he cuts their hair. I was going to give you last week's picks. I just didn't make it to it. But it's on the schedule. So there you go.
I mean, last week's picks, we did okay, but much to be desired in some of those picks and some of those scores.
I think we probably got all of them right, but I did say Ridgeview would upset them, but I picked Union, and it was far from it.
Yeah, it was impressive by the Union Bears.
Yes.
I think that's the hot take coming out of last week, from me at least, is the fact that Union, for the second week in a row, hosts, a contender in the Mountain 7 / Southwest Virginia Region D, and completely puts them to bed in the second half. So,
right. So Josh always talks about how the podcast goes 45 minutes at your shop, Corey. And when we're online, it's an hour. Well, there's a couple of things, because one, I don't know what to do with my hands. We got some music going on in the background for you. I'm okay with it. I don't know what to do with my hands. And as you saw, I just was like playing with my pen and dropped it. Today, I don't care. I'm just going to do whatever.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got an 18-month-old that's running around my feet. She's like a baby bird underneath a parent bird. And she wants my keys back so she can bang on the table some more. So, this is life. It's live. It's real.
That's right.
We're not editing this, so
nope.
It is what it is. Enjoy.
And if you like the Pat McAfee show, that thing's not edited either. So,
nope, just bleep.
That's right. So, from there, Richlands will not be talked about in this podcast because they're open. It's not a tournament. It's not a bye week. It's an open week. So Richlands has an open. But we're trying to get a little bit better at this and give you some better information. So there's no rankings right now. If you go to the VHSL, you cannot find rankings because Josh told me the lady retired. So they're not putting the stuff out there. But apparently the 2D and 2C are going by rankings. And we've got people out there that are trying to keep up with them. So if they've got it right, here they are. If they're wrong, we didn't add them up. We're just sharing what we found, okay? So number 1 is Union, 7-0 with 23.7 points. And they've got people checking them to make sure. There's like 3 people doing this, so I feel like they're doing pretty good on it. Number 2 is Lebanon, 6-0 with 22 points. Number 3, V-High, 6-1, 21.2 points.
Do you feel like that's a surprise to see Virginia High? I mean, we are going by points, and there are people out there that are trying to add them up, and I could sit down and try to add all these up, but I thought that was interesting to see Virginia High points-wise ahead of who's in number 4 and who's in number 5.
I think 4 and 5 surprised me the most because I thought they would be 2 and 3.
Well, I thought Lebanon would be up there just because they're undefeated. So
right.
Wins are wins.
Yeah.
Wins are at a premium. But I thought it was interesting to see Virginia High up there. I know that there's an extra game, but these are also divided out.
Correct.
So it's an average amount of points. It's not just the total amount of points. So.
And with that being said, number 4, with 2 losses at 5-2, is Gate City with 21.1 points. And they've got those teams out of Tennessee that's a little bit higher than what Ridgeview has played because that was something they were debating there because Paintsville is single A. You got right. Ridgeview at 5-1 with 20.8 points. So they're really close there. Mm-hmm. Then you see the drop off from 20 points to Richlands at number 6, 4-3. At 17.5, you have Graham. Sorry, this is the biggest surprise to everybody, I guess. Graham at 7, 3-3 at 16.3 points. Because as we talk, we don't think Graham's going to be in the bottom.
No, the Southwest District starts their gauntlet.
Yes,
this week. So we'll see where they end up. But you also have to remember one of those 3 wins for Graham is a forfeit with Galax, who isn't really in the cards of winning any games, so they're not getting any bonus points for that. So
right,
that's killing them right now.
And Galax forfeits this week as well. Number 8, Lee, 2-4 with 14.1 points. The surprise. Number 9 is Tazewell, 1-5. 12.3 points. So Lee has Gate City, Tazewell has Marion, but after that it could change because of who Lee plays. We have Battle at 10, 1-6, 12.1 points. Wise at 1-5 with 12 points. And Marion 0-6 with 9.6 points. So right now, if the playoffs happen today, that would be your rankings, that would be your setup. And Tazewell's barely missing with Lee getting in. So let's move on. We have changed up the format this week to see if you all like it a little bit better, but it's going to move the game of the week. And we think that's okay. Yeah. But if you don't like it, comment, let us know. Or just send Josh or I a text.
Right. Most of you have my number anyway.
Right. So from there, Thursday night at 7 o'clock, the Tazewell Bulldogs, who are 1-5, will travel to take on the 0-6 Marion Hurricane.
My daughter over there, she's throwing it back, relaxing. So, yeah, Tazewell is going to not travel over the mountains. They're going to go around the mountains and go to Marion and play in the back of the Dragon Bowl. So Tazewell found the win column last week in a relatively hard-fought 35-20 win at Grundy. I have said before that Grundy is the place where you go, where your football dreams go to die. They did not go to die for Tazewell last Friday. They were given life support, and Tazewell found the win column, and now Tazewell finds himself at number 9, just a little less than 2 points out of number 8, the 8 seed in the playoffs. So Tazewell scored points. They scored 35 points. That's by far the most points that they've scored all season long.
Yep.
Before Friday night, Tazewell, you could have counted the times that Tazewell scored double digits or scored at all on one hand. I thought a bright spot for Tazewell, which has been a bright spot, but we hadn't talked about it all year long, was special teams.
Yeah.
Having another kickoff return for a touchdown. They're kicking field goals. So special teams was a bright spot for them. I was really surprised that the defense gave up points the way they did. I understand maybe getting caught kind of asleep on the first series, like give up a big play to start the game out. But I was surprised that Grundy was able to score not just one more touchdown, but 2 more touchdowns. I think that was something that the Tazewell coaching staff wasn't very happy about. Marion's kind of the same old. They traveled down to Lee, like 5 hours away, and give up 28 points. They barely score a touchdown. It's just, I wonder where Marion is. I was surprised that Lee didn't put more points up on Marion. Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Maybe they're trying to get a W. Maybe they felt like they could last Friday, so Marion gives it a little bit more. I wonder how they feel Thursday night. To me, this is my take on both of these teams, though. They seem tired.
Agree.
Tazewell was running out of gas at the end of that game. They give up a touchdown to Grundy late, and Marion seems tired. I actually got to watch the Marion Lee game. Some of it, I've watched it on film, and they just seem worn out. So I just wonder what that does for both teams on a Thursday night where they're not used to playing. It's a short week. Marion just got done traveling all the way to Lee. Tazewell just got done traveling all the way to Grundy. What does that say for the total amount of points that are going to be scored with two teams that struggled to put the ball in the end zone? I think Tazewell finds a win column again, but it's close, which it usually is with Marion.
Right.
Tazewell 17, Marion 14.
So with Tazewell finding this new momentum with the quarterback, I think that's helped us a little bit. It's also made Walker more comfortable. I think we said that after the V-High game, and that was a loss. But they still looked better in that game. We still have guys who are playing both ways. And you know as well as I do, that makes you tired. So I think that's what's hurting us in the fourth quarter, just the both-way playing. But with that being said, I like Tazewell in this one as well. 24-12. Now, something that we haven't been doing is I found statistics where they give a percentage. So in this one, Tazewell has a 57% chance to win this game, and they like Tazewell 21-19. And
that's not very far off. I mean, I had no idea. I saw that when I came in. Pretty close to what we were picking. So
yeah, so there you go. Now, let's move on. This is another part where we've changed. If you don't like it, we'll change it up. But today's game of the week, brought to you by Old Town Barbershop, is the Lebanon Pioneers, who are 6-0, traveling 3 straight weeks, game of the week, to Bullitt Park to take on the Union Bears, who are 7-0.
Right, so Union continues its gauntlet for a 3rd straight week. Luckily, all of them are being played in the friendly confines of Bullitt Park, at least for Union.
Right.
It's definitely not friendly for anyone else. Let's talk about both of these teams kind of by the numbers, and we'll just look at it on paper. Union's offense averages 45.5 points per game. Their defense is giving up a paltry 10.9 points per game. What's going on? Doing good. Lebanon's offense is scoring 51 points per game, by far the tops in Southwest Virginia, and because of Southwest Virginia, the Southwest District. Their defense, though, is giving up 21.3 points per game. Now, you would think, that's pretty close. The differential, though, is actually a little bit higher than what I kind of feel like. I feel like Lebanon scores and just blows people out. And while Union blows people out, it's not in the same way. I mean, they're not scoring 59 and 60 points.
Right.
So it just kind of feels different. But the point differential for Union is almost 5 touchdowns, where it's just over 4 touchdowns for Lebanon. So realistically, Union is blowing people out at a faster and bigger pace than what Lebanon is, even though Lebanon is averaging almost a touchdown and extra point more than Union. The glaring stat, and that is the defensive stats, right? I mean, 10.9 points per game. You're talking about 2 scores. And then Lebanon's given up over 3 touchdowns per game. So something's going to have to give there. If it plays out the way it is on paper, then we kind of know where it's going. Here's another interesting stat. It's second half points. And both of these teams have been really good in the second half. And when you think about the last few games for Union playing the big games that they've played, they've gone into halftime either tied or barely with the lead, and they extend that lead in the second half. So second half points, Lebanon blows people out in the second half. I mean, you look at the Rural Retreat game, and it's really close at halftime. And then at the end of the Rural Retreat game, Lebanon scored 63 points. It's just which team is going to be able to make those second half adjustments. I think that Union in their last 2 games has done just a fabulous job in the second half. And I don't know if that's second half adjustments or if that's we're deeper than you are, so we just have a little bit more stamina, or the magic of Bullet Park. I don't know. You could factor all of that stuff in. But Lebanon will do the same thing. Let's talk about some keys to victory. I've got 3 of them like I normally do for the game of the week. I still like early points in this, mainly because if you give up early points in the first half, what's going to happen in the second half? Both of these teams blow everything out in the water. So if you go into halftime down 2 scores, you're going to have to really try to pull out some big time plays in the second half. Both teams have been able to do that, but most of the time it's because the score is even, and then they blow everyone out.
Right.
I don't think you can go into halftime down 2 scores and expect just a miracle second half, especially if you're Lebanon on the road. Maybe you give a little more kudos to Union in that situation, but I still don't think Union wants to be down 2 scores or a touchdown going into halftime, knowing that Lebanon will score 35 points in the second half.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a premium on early points and staying on schedule on the scoreboard. Halftime adjustments, I just talked about it. Either these teams just gut it out in the second half and just play better, or there's incredible halftime adjustments being made by the coaching staffs. I think that there are halftime adjustments both on the defensive side and the offensive side at halftime, and it's who's going to make the better adjustments in this game at halftime. Halftime is for the coaches. Like, normally I'm talking about players and plays and all this stuff, but this is an X's and O's thing, and it's about the coaching staffs and who's got the better coaching staff moving forward. Tilly's over here putting her shoes back on, which is good. She can put her shoes on. The third key to victory, General Nealon said this was his second game maxim: play for and make the breaks. And when one comes your way, score. Most of the time in big games, it comes down to 1 or 2 plays. I'm going to bring my daughter right here. She's trying to put her shoe on. So like in most big games, it comes down to one or two plays that can make the difference. Sometimes those breaks come your way and you don't take advantage of them. You have got to parlay mistakes by the other team in this game with points. They have to come points are going to come at a premium to a certain extent, and if if Union turns the ball over, Lebanon has to score. If Lebanon turns the ball over, Union has to score. If there's a defensive stop where then you can score and take the lead, you've got to be able to parlay those kinds of opportunities into points. Now, Union's done a great job the past 2 weeks. No doubt about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's absolutely no way that we can sit here and say that they're not heads above everyone else in the Southwest District and the Mountain 7, all of Region D. The points say differently. They say it's actually really tight between Lebanon, number 2, and Union, number 1. But Union's the man. Look who they've beaten and look who Lebanon's beaten.
Right.
Lebanon's schedule is nothing compared to Union. All Lebanon has is the best quarterback, the best offense, and they score the most points in the Southwest District and Mountain 7, all of Region D. Poor old Lebanon. Poor old Lebanon in the tattered Southwest District with a Graham team that's 3-3 and number 7 in the region. I don't care. Give me the Bears, Union 42, Union 42, Lebanon 28.
The Bears. So when you look at some of Lebanon's games, Royal Retreat, I think is who it was. That was a close game going into half. John Battle was 17-14 at one point in time. A lot of these games, they're playing close with whoever they're playing. You can't play close like that and then go play Union. The closest game that Union's had was Graham. And then they just started using that battering ram in the backfield and pulled away. So, as much as Lebanon is a 6-0 compared to Union, it's not a good 6-0 because Union's a great 7-0.
Oh, yeah.
The only person in their way right now could be Glenbar. And that's it. That's a state.
Yeah, that's not till the state semifinals.
Right. Graham could sneak back into this picture, but right now Glenbar looks like to be the one to stop him. They got a good quarterback who's like 6'5" and can move.
Mm-hmm.
Reminds you of Radford.
It does. It's very similar to Radford a couple of years ago.
With all of that being said, the Bears, I like them 45-21. Now the stats say that they have a 87% chance to win this game, 46-28. So
man, that was really close.
We're pretty close.
Earlier today, I was thinking about this game, and I had 42-28, and I decided to keep it there. But I was looking at it, and I was thinking 48-30 at one point. I actually texted that to one of my friends, and I was like, I think the spread's about 18. And then I went back to my gut. That's great. I went back to my gut and win 42-28. But I think Union, if you're going to be the man, you got to beat the man. And no one's been able to do that. And it's in Bullitt Park. That's worth at least 7 to 10 points, at least.
Right. And you don't have a line the size of their line. That's where it comes down to this.
No, the line of scrimmage is Union's going to dominate the line of scrimmage,
yes,
and therefore may dominate the time of possession, limiting Lebanon's opportunities to even score points.
Right.
I think Lebanon can score points against them. Everyone that has played Union has scored. Gate City scored 21. Ridgeview scores 21. I think Lebanon's better than both of those teams offensively, so I think Lebanon can get to 28, but Lebanon, they can't. They're not going to be able to stop them. So,
all right. So now, On Friday night at 7 o'clock, the John Battle Trojans will travel to Ridgeview. 1-6 Battle, 5-1 Wolfpack. How do you like it?
Oh, so Battle has had the great distinction of playing Gate City after Union beat them, and now the Ridge after Union beat them. And normally, I would talk about this game in the sense of a trap game. I didn't last week, mainly because you would think, okay, well, maybe Gate City's licking their wounds. Maybe they're beat up a little bit. They've got Battle, and they're just going to overlook them, and maybe Gate City doesn't play very well because of that. But I didn't. I said Gate City was going to take out frustration. They did, to the tune of 40-2. I didn't know if Gate City did the old punt and run
Right?
at the end of the game just to run the clock out and then run out the back of the end zone to give up the 2 points. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure how that 2 points was scored. Oh, thank you. But this could be a trap game for the Ridge, but I'm not looking at it like that. So since Battle's win at Central, it's given up 61 points, 56 points, and 41 points. That's a little less every week, so kudos to Battle. Insert Ridgeview.
Yes.
Don't think it's going to be less this week. Ridgeview will get the frustration out, get the bad taste out of their mouth after their loss to Union. There's no hangover for Ridgeview in this one. The Ridge 45, Battle 14.
Yeah, Ridgeview's been able to put up points at will when they play. I mean, they put up points against Union, just not enough. They put up 21. But when it comes to the other schools, they're just able to put up points. And that's going to happen here. I think they'll treat Battle better than Gate City did. I like this game 52-7. Not much better than Gate City.
Maybe not better than Gate City. Maybe that was just trying to be nice to Battle and say that and then post their score.
So Ridgeview has a 99% chance to win this game at 56-6. So it's pretty bad. She's not happy with us right now.
No, she wants the mic.
Yeah. So, but it's okay. Now, from there, we have on Friday night the Abington Falcons at 7 o'clock, who are 3-3, will travel to the 1-5 Central Wise Warriors. And I'm not really sure that this Warrior can tame the Falcon.
Ooh, I never thought about it like that. Some falconry going on here. So, just like Battle, let's talk about Central since their win at Marion. Since their win at Marion, Central has been outscored 168-42. That averages out to a score of 42-12. Guess what Abington just did? They scored 45 points against Johnson County.
Yes, they did.
And as I say before, I would like to find some kind of interesting stat, some data point that might lead you to believe that Central can pull this upset. But I think the average is hit. Abington 42, Central 12.
42-12. Yeah, I mean, Abington being 3A is big brother in this game. Wise is beat up. They're licking their wounds. This is not a team you're going to get a win. This could be an upset game, though. If you think about Abington, Battle got them 2 years ago. There's always that chance that could happen. That would be hilarious in this case, but it's not going to happen. I like the Falcons in this one 28-6. Now, Abington has a 94% chance to win this game, and they have this game at 44-14.
Yeah, pretty close to the averages.
Yeah. So, now on Friday night, the 5-2 Gate City Blue Devils in their blue dress will travel. I just went blank. To Ben-Hur. That's where I was trying to think. 2-4, Lee, 5-star Generals.
Yeah, so Lee gets a win against a very bad Marion team, 28-7, and the prize for that win and getting into that 8 seed is Gate City.
Woo!
Gate City got the bad taste out of their mouth with a 41 or 40-2 win over Battle last week. Here's an interesting stat. So Lee has 2 wins, and they scored 28 points against Marion, which is a 2A football team. But against good 2A football teams, here's what Lee has given up. 49 points, 42 points, and 47 points, while only scoring 3 points, 14 points, and 14 points respectively against those 3 opponents. I think it's really close to another averages getting hit. I think Gate City doesn't score as much, but I've got the City, 37. Lee, 15. How they get to 15, I don't know. A touchdown and 2-point conversion somewhere. 5 field goals.
2 touchdowns and a field goal. No extra points.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah. I mean, Gate City is by far the better team here. As we were going over, you've got 1 through 5, and then there's that drop. And then you've got 6 and 7, and then a drop. And Lee is that 8. So Gate City's going to handle business. There's not much more I can say after Josh. I like the City in this one 35-14. Now the projections say that Gate City wins this one 99%. I don't know why Abingdon was 94% playing wise, but it should be 99 as well. But it's not. It's 94. But Gate City's at 99% with a 44-14 win.
Ooh, all right.
So we're pretty close there as well.
All right.
Now, for our final game, which could be a game of the week, except you got 2 undefeated teams going against each other, is on Saturday at 1 o'clock. If you check Max Preps, it says it is a there's no home field advantage because it's played at Tazewell. That's wrong. It's played at Graham.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, if your appointment is right now, you have Corey pacing the floor. He doesn't like not being idle. So make sure you're on time when you're at Old Town Barbershop so he's not idle because he's just pacing. I'm not lying. All right, back to it. Saturday at 1 o'clock, played at Graham. They haven't named that yet, have they?
No, not that I know of.
Okay, there you go. Graham's Field, whatever
Mustard
we're going to call
Park.
that. Hopefully it's
yellow.
maroon jerseys this week.
Or at least gray or something.
The 6-1 VI Bearcats will travel to Graham to take on the 3-3 Graham G-Men.
Yeah, so Virginia High's coming off an open week, which is probably pretty good considering the last 2 weeks they've had a really funky kind of schedule, right? So 2 Fridays ago, they traveled to Independence, play about a quarter and a half, and get rained out and postponed due to lightning. And then the following Monday have to travel all the way back to Independence, which is, there's no easy way to get to Independence. But they travel all the way back to Independence and play 2.5 quarters and gut out a 1-point win at Grayson County. And then they have to turn around in a short week and play Tazewell. And they play okay against Tazewell, but Tazewell plays probably their best football against Virginia High down there, even though they lost.
Right. But
Virginia High, I think, needed that open week. I think they did a good job of scheduling that open week before they played Graham. In situations like this, you need a chance to rest and regroup. And I think this open week came at the perfect time for Virginia High. Graham, I said, it was that 56 points an anomaly? It was not. They scored 56 points again. Hold on just 1 second.
Yeah, we've got a predicament with a kid that's stuck. It's kind of funny though. She's okay, but it's funny.
Oh, So Graham followed up their 56-point performance with an encore against Pulaski County. They scored another 56 points, which changes all of their statistics because going into the Marion game, they hadn't scored much at all season long. Then they follow that up with 2 straight weeks where they score 112 points. I'm thinking that Graham is rounding into shape. It's kind of like that boxer that's leading up to the title fight.
Mm-hmm.
They're not at their fighting weight the entire time. They're cutting weight 2 weeks before. Well, guess what? This is Graham's title fight right now. And they've got another one coming up after this one. So I think they're rounding into shape. This is really when their season starts, though. I mean, realistically, the Southwest District is wide open. If Graham can run the table, they win the Southwest District. Easy as that. Their fate is in their own hands. So is Virginia High's and so is Lebanon's.
Right.
And it's coming down to that time. The Mountain 7 just did that. Southwest District is getting ready to do that. Graham still, though, I think, has to answer the doubters. They're 3-3. Yeah, they put up a lot of points against 2 bad teams. So we'll see what it looks like when they're playing the number 3 team in the region in Virginia High. Virginia High has the speed, the talent, and they've played in this game. They played in this type of game for 2 years in a row now. They haven't shown up, but this is their opportunity. They get Graham on a neutral field, per se, right?
Right.
Even though it's at Graham in a kind of a weird home game, right? So I'll go back to what I've said before, especially in the Mountain 7, dealing with Union. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man. Not this week. Graham 32, Virginia High 24.
Yeah, I'd like to see an upset and us not pick the same across the board. It's kind of hard to do in these situations. V-High plays that 3-3 stack, and sometimes it gives Graham some issues. But on the defensive side, I like Graham. They're starting to find their footing. So with all of that laid out, Graham 35, V-High 32. So
that's tight.
Yeah.
It could be a tight game. And listen, you're getting ready to read off the percentage. I don't think it's that.
No, not
I don't think it's that. I think Virginia High has a legit shot at pulling the upset. I am shell shocked after picking Gate City. I'm like, nah, I'm going to stick with my guns in this one. If you got to be the man, you got to beat the man.
That's right. So
Graham's getting ready to give a 4-finger slap.
Graham has a 77% chance to win this game, 26-14. So there we are. There's our picks. That's what the Southwest and Mountain 7 look like. Now, give us our update.
All right, so Hidden Valley, they lost last week to Blacksburg 43-0. And this week they are hosting Christiansburg. So Christiansburg's not a great 3A football team, but I don't think it hasn't mattered yet. But we'll keep Hidden Valley in our prayers.
And as you all know, she's taking her shoes off.
It's Shoeless Joe Tilly.
At one point, I thought she went to the water cooler to fill her shoe up. That's why I was like, hey, I was going to laugh. That would have been a bad day for her, though. But Rye Cove did not fare well against Eastside. Eastside took that one. They're undefeated. So if you're really into the single A game right now, Alta Vista, Eastside, that could be your final. It'd be a good final, though.
It would be a good final. I'm still surprised at Rye Cove. I'm really surprised at that. I thought that there'd be a lot of points in that game, and points were at a premium.
Yes.
It was at a premium. So, hey, great job, Eastside. Hey, you got to prove the doubters wrong, right?
All right. to the final question of the podcast. Where are you eating at on Friday?
Well, if we're going to deal with the game of the week, going down to Union again, I'm still probably going to stop on my way down and not make it all the way to Union before I eat. But I'm going to go back to Sugar Hill. Like, that's a great spot to eat in St. Paul. It's on the way. If you're Lebanon people are certainly aware of it.
Right.
So that's where I'm going for a little bit of barbecue and a little beer on the side there.
I'm going to stay in Tazewell. Well, no, I'm not going to stay in Tazewell. I'm going to follow Tazewell to Marion, and I'm going to eat at McAdoo's. They have a really good McAdoo's there. But
They do. I thought you were going to go with a different. I've got one for Marion, too.
I don't know if they're open on Thursday night, but I'd go to the Wooden Pickle.
Oh, yes, exactly.
I'd go to the Wooden Pickle if they're open. I think they have a schedule of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm not real sure. But if they're open, go to the Wooden Pickle.
The Wooden Pickle.
Great place.
It's the deal.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
All right. That wraps us up for week 8. As the barter always says, if you like us, talk about us. If you don't, then keep your mouth shut. Peace out.
Go Vols.
Flames won last night.
They did.